G'day, I'm Troy, and this is the Comic Book Movie Collector's Guide, the show about collecting all things superhero cinema. And today we're going to take a gander at Captain America, the 1966 cartoon series on DVD. And we're going to try and answer the question, is this a kid's cartoon or a wartime drama? Let's get into it. Captain America is an animated superhero cartoon that went for one season, containing 13 episodes, with a runtime of 21 minutes each. The cartoon was part of an umbrella series called The Marvel Superheroes, a half-hour program made up of 3 7-minute segments of a single superhero. The show also featured cartoons of 4 other heroes, including the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, the Mighty Thor, and the Submariner. It debuted in syndication on US television from the 1st of September 1966 through to the 1st of December 1966. The cartoon was released on DVD as a 2-disc set only in the UK by Maximum Entertainment on the 21st of May 2007, with no Blu-ray or 4K HD as of this video. The show was produced by Grantray-Lawrence Animation and Marvel Comics Group and distributed by Krantz Films. Okay, let's have a look at the case here, and how nice does that look? That is some stunning Jack Kirby artwork there. I like this a lot. This blue cover with him coming out, it looks fantastic. It's very eye-catching, just bounces off the shelf. I really like it. And the spine here is perfect. I love that. That is spot on. And of course the back, that gives you everything you need to see with screenshots, logo, the whole bit, very much in line with it. Not bad at all. And as you can see, usually with these ones they have something on the inside of the cover, not this time, but look at those discs. Look at those beautiful cover discs. I love these editions. They always put that little bit of extra effort into it, and that is just fantastic. A big fan of that. Overall, I really love this one out of most of them. I think this is great. So for this one, I am going to give this an 8 out of 10. So the first 3 episodes start with the origins of Captain America and his adventures in World War II with his sidekick Bucky, with the following 10 episodes continuing his further adventures after he re-emerges in contemporary times out of his suspended animation to face the new and old threats.
Well, if it isn't my old nemesis.
Now, all these stories in this show were all lifted from the comic books, hence some of the overblown dialogue that you would see in the show from those great old Silver Age comics. Now, the stories themselves, hey, they were fine, but I was really surprised at how much they dealt with some real complex themes, like Steve's PTSD and his grief over, you know, the death of his partner Bucky, and just being this man out of time, struggling, you know, to adapt to this new modern world that he just doesn't understand.
Oh God, what kind of world is this?
So some pretty deep themes there for a cartoon that's aimed at younger audiences. Now, I found the episodes had some pacing issues, shall we say, as I felt like it was 20 minutes of build up and then you just had this boom, 30 seconds of payoff. It was just like they were telling, it was like some old person just telling this long-winded story, and then all of a sudden at the last minute they forgot to finish it.
Who and what now?
So it's compelling in some eps and it's just boring in others, I gotta say. With that, look, I'm only going to give this a 15 out of 30. As I said before, these stories were lifted just straight from the comic books, as was the artwork, which is the thing that I think most people across the board remember the most about this cartoon, which I feel you have to take that into consideration, as this was the 60s and this was produced on a very tight shoestring budget.
Unfortunately, we don't have any money.
For me, these were just precursors to the motion comics that we have today, and as harsh as people are on it, I don't think it's totally that bad, because you get to see Jack Kirby's dynamic artwork in action. Well, okay, except for episode 4, Return of Captain America, as, oh my God, the artwork in that one was subpar at best. It looks like a 4-year-old drew it.
Not your best work.
I have some screenshots up here I've just shown you, and as you can see, it's totally horrendous. But it was the only ep that was like that. The rest were all on par with each other. So, not sure what happened there.
I got nothing.
Now, with the voice actors, I thought they were great. They all sounded kind of like what you thought the characters would be like. Even though the dialogue was a bit, shall we say, over the top, you know, they didn't do too bad. I have the list up here, and for me, Sandy Becker as Captain America did a really great job. He really sounded like what I would imagine Captain America to sound like in my head. Anyway, with that, look, I'm only going to give this a 10 out of 20. So this bad boy, it doesn't have any special features, which is pretty much the norm for these clear vision ones of these archival shows. But if you do want to see a good retrospective about this show, go check out this video by NerdSync. I'll have the link down in the description below. He does a really great deep dive into the series of this one in particular. But as far as anything else, nothing here, and that's about it that I could find. So because I'm reviewing this DVD, all I can give it is 0 out of 10. Now the critic score came in at 0% and the audience score was 0%, because as usual there's nothing on Rotten Tomatoes. But anyway, but IMDb comes through yet again, and they had a score of 6.5 out of 10, which I can understand this score, as you will have a lot of people who grew up watching this giving it those little high nostalgia marks, and others being super critical of it as it's not up to the standards of maybe what they're watching today in animation. Anyway, if we round it up, we're going to get a score of 6 out of 10. So for me, my first introduction to this Captain America, or just Captain America in general, was this cartoon. And I had this on the Viewmaster set, which was of the episode The Sleeper Shall Awake episode, way back when I was a kid.
How old are you? Old enough.
So I have a bit of preloaded nostalgia for this series, and I was really looking forward to watching this series. And it did not disappoint in that regards. I really did enjoy watching it. As I said before, I was just surprised with, I don't know, just the more mature themes that were addressed in this show, that now watching it as an adult, you can kind of appreciate more, like these more complex stories where they're trying to tell, you know, about how a World War II veteran and kind of like the psychological effects war has on a soldier who's come back.
War changes a man.
Now, the one thing I did notice watching this DVD set is the episodes are a little out of order. So here is a list of how they are on the DVD and how you should watch them in the right order. As the whole, you know, because this thing is a whole story. Though, a funny side note, in episode 10, which is in the right order, they introduce Hawkeye, Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch as the new Avengers team. But they were in the last 2 episodes already, so yeah, thanks for getting us up to speed, I think.
Once again, things that could have been brought to my attention yesterday!
Anyway, overall, it was good in spots, and sometimes it was slog in others, but it filled me up with the nice warm and fuzzies and nostalgia. So for that, look, I'm going to give this a 13 out of 20. So first up is collectability, and on the collector scale, I would say this would be for your comic geek and up, as it's really only something for your serious collectors, or for someone with a bit of nostalgia value. Now, as far as availability, this one is on the rare side of things. Even though this is probably the more common one of the 5 shows, there is only really a handful of copies out there for sale as of the time of this video, so you will have to track them down on the second-hand market. As far as your average price goes, you're looking at anywhere between $60, which was the cheapest I found, all the way through to the ridiculous price of $215 for DVD. So look, it really pays to search around. And as far as usual, there's nothing for Blu-ray or 4K as of this video. Now, for the final score, we get a grand total of 52 out of 100. That's a pretty fair score if you take everything into consideration. So, we asked the question, is this a kid's cartoon or a wartime drama? This was definitely more than just a kid's cartoon at its core. It was a story of a war veteran dealing with PTSD, depression and isolation, all wrapped up in a nice kid's cartoon.
I was not expecting that.
Hey, so if you like this video and you want to see some more reviews, why don't you check that out there? Or maybe you like to see my collection updates. I've got you covered too. Why don't you go check out that one there? And on your way out, don't forget to do the most important thing, and that's throw me a bat like and hit that subscription button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.